Hi, I'm Roy Coughlan, and I'm the creator of the podcast. You can find everything about me and the 5 podcasts on bio.link/podcaster, and you'll find it in the QR code there. I'd also like to thank my sponsors. If you or someone you know is struggling with anxiety and want to know how to be 100% anxiety free in 6 weeks without therapy or drugs, Daniel Packard Anxiety Solution Program Company offers a 6 weeks system that permanently solves anxiety at an astounding 90% success rate. People who join the program only pay at the end once they have clear, measurable results. If you're interested in learning more, go to permanentanxietysolutions.com, where you can book a free consultation with Daniel. Do you have high blood pressure or want to get off the meds? Doctors are amazed at what Zona Plus can do. Get a $50 discount with my code ROY. Go to zona.com/discount/ROY, and you see the QR code for all my sponsors down at the end. Quality Polish manufacturer of metal products for telecommunication and workshop equipment and other metals. If you'd like a brochure, you see it in the QR code, and you just let us know if you would like a quotation shipped internationally and very competitive rates. I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast.
Welcome to the Crypto Podcast. You can find all our episodes on cryptopodcast.org. My guest today, he's got an IQ of over 140. He enjoys chess, fine cuisine, fighting, and reading, and we'll find out all about that. Does he fight when he loses a game of chess, or is it that when somebody robs his book? He's the president of SHOPX. Please welcome Eric McHugh.
Well, nice to meet you. My name is Eric, and I really appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, looking forward to this. So, I kind of mentioned, I know there's a lot of things you've done prior, so you might just kind of let the listeners know a little bit more about Eric.
Sure. Like you mentioned, my favorite hobbies are chess and Muay Thai. I find them to be actually pretty similar in the sense they're both strategically planning and a great way to relieve stress. I recently took a meditation and just got back from a 10-day meditation retreat in Joshua Tree in complete noble silence. It was a transformative experience, and I'd recommend everyone look into it. In terms of work experience and where I'm at, I'm 30 years old. I'm blessed to be living in beautiful Southern California. I went to school at the University of California, Irvine, where I interned in Barcelona as a project manager and in Washington, D.C. as a government affairs consulting intern, which I'm sure all of you probably just cringe considering this is a crypto podcast. Right after college, I got my first job at Snapchat, so Snap Inc. in Venice Beach, helping recreate their ad algorithm. The reason I chose that, to be honest, was because the structure of Snapchat's campus is they bought a bunch of houses on the beach, so it's a bunch of different work pods at a different house, and I found that cool. The food was also really good, to be honest. It was like the classic tech, unlimited lunch, unlimited dinner on the beach. It was good vibes. Right after that, I got my first, real full-time job as a bankruptcy consultant. So if you're thinking about like FTX or BlockFi or any of the recent, or Luna or any of the recent crypto bankruptcies, when a Fortune 500 company goes bankrupt, there's a lot of debt and people have to sort that out. And I learned there, unfortunately, that the normal person like me or you or the creditor obviously is the last to get paid, which is unfortunate in the system. And being part of BlockFi, I'm seeing that firsthand. But fortunately for me, at that time, the work structure was do like Excel work, bill up for the clients. I found myself having a lot of free time just because I'm doing Excel all day. So that's when I really started going hard on podcasts, reading everything I got. So that's when I started going down the Bitcoin rabbit hole. I spent all day listening to Saifedean, Stefan Lavara, Andreas Antonopoulos, who, if you're new to crypto, I think he's the best person for a beginner just to learn more about that. And during that time, I had 2 other friends who were also getting into crypto. One's currently at Coinbase and one's currently at Kraken. So we had a text group where we text each other like tweets, memes, information, books, podcasts to listen to. We'd have sat-offs, meaning someone would buy like $200 worth of Satoshis, and someone would be like, oh, well, you can't beat me, I have to buy 220. And then I'm like, all right, well, it looks like I'm buying 250. So it was a pretty fun way to stack sats with your friends. But unfortunately, as a bankruptcy consultant, I view that as a rent-seeking position, meaning we weren't creating any value. We were just kind of sucking value off from, well, you guys, sorry. And then so obviously that doesn't align with the ethos of Bitcoin. So I quit that job after I got my bonus in 2016. Then at that point, I was fully like all into Bitcoin specifically. I started off as a Bitcoin maxi, but I'm like, okay, this is a space I want to work in. I started going to local cryptocurrency meetups in like Long Beach, Irvine, LA. I met the original SHOPX team there. That's 2016, 2017. We spun off and started another startup called CartRev or Paul. It had a couple names, but what that was, it was for e-commerce brands. It helped replace affiliate codes and increase conversions. So if you're a brand, you're on Shopify, you could upload your products to our system, and then anyone could sell any product through one singular link that kept within the Instagram app to increase conversion. So if I like this Nike shirt, this Adidas hat, this Reebok shoe, I could buy all three of those from your link in one singular checkout. I get a discount due to commission, brand gets a sale, everyone's happy. That did pretty well. At its peak, it had over 100 Shopify brands on its platform using its services. And obviously, we transferred all that knowledge over to ShopX. So ShopX has been around since 2017. When you think of ShopX, I want you to think of the Google or Apple of Web3. And I know that's a really gimmicky company line comparing you to one of like the big companies, but in the end, we're going to be a suite of products for any brand to just simply download an app and then interact within Web3 and gain benefits. So we have two products live right now. The first is ReserveX. That's a NFT loyalty program. So if you're a brand on Shopify or WooCommerce, again, you download our app, and then directly from within the app with no technical expertise, like all you have to do is fill out a form with an image, a description, a price, how many NFTs you want minted. You fill out that form. On the back end, we take care of the smart contract deployment for you while you still own it. And then from there, after you deploy your smart contract, you can add e-commerce benefits to your NFT, meaning like if Nike uses our product or uses the ReserveX, they can launch a gold style tier pass. I purchase a gold pass. I get early access to products, product discounts, and all that good stuff. Our second product is SquadX, and that's our ambassador program. So that ties with the revenue generated from ReserveX. So if you know, Twitter has their payouts. They pay their creators in ad revenue, in money from their ad revenue. So ShopX, we pay our SquadX community. If you want to learn more, just search $ShopX on Twitter. We pay them in Ethereum from our ReserveX revenue. So when a brand uses ReserveX, they deploy a smart contract, a customer mints in credit card or MetaMask or credit card or Ethereum. They have control over 95% of where their Ethereum goes, meaning if they're working with like an agency or an influencer or whomever, they can program it into the smart contract that they automatically get paid at the time of purchase. ShopX earns 5% from that in our revenue, and we give half of that back to the community. So it's $100, brand has $95, ShopX gets 2.5, community gets 2.5, and everyone's happy.
Excellent. Just there's a few things based on all the stuff you said there, so I'm going to peel back a few layers. Like when you were talking about Snap, because I know in Ireland there's a lot of like the Facebook is there, Google's there, and they have all the toys, like you mentioned, the beachfront and everything, and the lovely cuisine. But I heard a guy talking about it, and I was like, because a lot of the time they're giving the kind of community as well for a living, and they're kind of tying the person into the company without even realizing it. Like they're kind of giving them all these extra little things without them even kind of realizing, hey, if I walk away from this job, not only do I lose my you get so many benefits that most companies don't offer.
Oh, 100%. The goal of Snapchat of making the campus so sweet is to keep people there as long as possible, obviously creating more revenue for Snap. So obviously that's the case. Like the snacks are great. Like, for example, if I were to leave for dinner or leave for lunch, like go off with friends, that's like an hour and a half to 2. Whereas if I go to the cafeteria, which is right down the street, and they even offer like ride share, it's like, oh, we'll pick you up, but a lot of time. We'll take you to the cafeteria, and that's like 20 minutes to 30 minutes. But my way around that system it was by the beach, so I'd spend at least 2 to 3 hours at the beach.
You benefited from it. And
yeah.
with the like the chapter 11 and the bankruptcies and everything, because I just like to touch a bit on that since you've experience in it, because like I have seen cases where like you've the accounting firms getting paid before everyone else, and they kind of drag their heels. So the
Oh
people,
yeah.
the real people who have invested in the company or whatever that should be getting most of the money, they're lucky to get 10% on the dollar. Like, you know, it's
10%. You're I
it's
would
not
say
even that. Yeah.
it's usually less than 5. And so one of my superpowers is I'm good at forgetting. So I forgot, well, like learning what I learned from there. So I forget the actual names for the way they tier the system, but there's 4 tiers. And the average, like let's say a mom and pop invest in whatever company that goes bankrupt, or the customers they owe money to, they'd be the bottom tier. Obviously the lawyers and stuff at the top tier, and there's middle tiers.
I
Yeah,
mean,
so the top tier, they get paid out 100% first, and the leftovers go to the third tier. The leftovers after that go to the second tier, and then the final, if there's anything at all, they go to the bottom tier. And the issue with that is if you've ever dealt with lawyers on 2 opposing sides, they're both billing out to the hours. So they're both incentivized to, like, think about divorce court, where both lawyers are incentivized to take as long as possible, drag their feet as long as possible, create as much friction as possible. So for example, the bankruptcy court, a lot of it was done like by hand, meaning imagine, like, for example, one of our clients was like Washington Mutual, or like major clients with, Jesus Christ, like thousands, tens of thousands of customers. And for us, like, to get, like, if I'm a customer wanting to get paid back, I'd have to get mailed out legal forms. They'd mail it back, and I'd mail it back. Then we'd converse there, and that's at scale with handwritten mail, lawyers getting into that, drafting the mail, writing it out, consultants going through each piece of mail. So every time, like, you would think mailing a form is a simple process for, like, you'd say, like, you're owed $100. It's like, all right, I want $100. I'll fill out this form, which is kind of annoying, kind of long, and of course it's in like odd legalese where it's unnecessarily complicated, but you fill it back, and then there's plenty of eyes going on that, and each set of those eyes are not incentivized to move fast. They're incentivized to move slow, like log into Excel, check it multiple times. And at that point in time, those are like getting billed out at consultant or lawyer's hours, which I think we know aren't exactly cheap at the end of every month. Everyone would bill out the company. It'd usually be a lot for, like, because we mainly work with lawyers and other consultants just from both sides. So we'd see all the bills and be like, okay, they got billed out a ton of money, and that's taken from the pie that should have originally gone to, in my opinion, but not legal advice, I'm not a lawyer, the average everyday citizen. So that just continuously drags on for, honestly, dude, sometimes years. We're just like, how is this still going? And sometimes they'll sign like meaning slips, like, just check everything. Everything's been fine for 6 months, nothing's changed, but just check everything. And again, incentives are more billable hours. So everyone's like, oh, okay, I'll check everything. And then, to be fair, from my like, I'll use my point of view just because it's, and I do apologize, just like I feel kind of bad, but I would check everything. I'd create an Excel sheet, I'd run the formulas, but in the meantime, I'm listening to like podcasts all day, so I'm just like, oh, this is pretty chill. Yeah, so that's obviously, but doing that while listening to Bitcoin podcasts are like, no rent seeking, no rent seeking. I'm just like, oh, yeah. I need to go.
Like, with what's going on with Celsius, FTX, and all the different one, is it going to be the exact same way?
I hope not. I'm personally involved with BlockFi, and my family's involved with BlockFi. I have friends involved with Celsius. So the way I'm looking at it is anything we get is a bonus. I count it as 0. So like, I'm looking at it as an unlimited upside. So if we get 10% back, that's 10%. Then I thought we lost. But yeah, so it's going similar. So if you're wondering why all the lag is happening, whereas people think it should be simple, it's like, okay, company owns this amount of assets at X time, divided up equally amongst all the appropriate people. That's not the case, and that's more of a systematic problem versus a specific company problem. So I do believe, like, I talked to a couple of people working at BlockFi, like, when I was using their service, but like, I don't think they're intentionally trying to rip any, and again, who knows? I'm just a person. Like, I don't think they're intentionally trying to rip anyone off. But at the same time, it's like, what are they supposed to do when, like, yeah. FTX, different matter.
So you mentioned Washington, working in Washington at one stage. So regarding regulation, what's your thoughts on that?
So at Washington, I was just an intern, but it was a government affairs consulting
No, but I mean,
internship.
because Washington D.C. is where everything's controlled in America. From my yeah, so like the regulation on the crypto world and on all the different things that's going on. Just curious, do you think it's something they should stay away from, or is it badly needed?
I think it's both badly needed and stay away from, meaning that there has to be regulation in place for, like, for example, I'm sure we're all aware of the speculation on the ETF. We've seen what that does to the market in general. So I think it's badly needed in the sense it's very difficult to create a crypto-based company in the United States or in other major companies. They just don't make it easy. So it is badly needed, but the only issue is the people who would make the laws in the United States are probably like all over 60 and don't know how to use a laptop. So I think it's badly needed, and hopefully we get the right people in place or the right advisors to create laws. On that side, I am from the United States, but crypto is not dependent on the United States. While the United States is a major player, I think crypto will keep moving forward with or without the United States. And who knows, may move forward in some other country, then the United States is forced to act because, hey, the people are like, dude, you're taking too long. What are you doing? We see you printing all this money. Can you just do your job? And they'll say, no, you're terrorists, you're criminals. And then we're just like, no, look what's happening everywhere else. That's you. Just please do your job. And then years of that, and then they'll eventually do their job. Hopefully sooner.
And
not legal advice in any way.
That's what I always love about any Americans, that even with podcasting, they all kind of have to give the disclaimer. Nobody else does that. It's only Americans do that because, like, yes, like everyone is suing people. It's like it's just a pastime, and I see everyone, if they're doing health thing, this isn't a health podcast, even though like they're really helping people, but they have to put out the disclaimer because somebody can say they were injured, and yeah, it's strange for the rest of the world listening to that.
Of course it is. I know it completely makes no sense, but it is what it is.
So, like, getting into your platform then, because I suppose explain it for. Is it just the big boys that you're getting in, or can it be a small mom and pop shop that's got certain things when they're actually creating, like they create the NFT? Yeah, you might just go into the exact details. Say we've got the. I mean, obviously, you could have like the likes of Nike and stuff like that. Because I looked at the website, I was looking at the different things. But if you could break it down so that from start to completion, they know the whole kind of process of how you set it up.
Yeah, so I can, if you want, I can go over the 3 examples we have. One like enterprise, one mid-tier, and one mom and pop. And then I can go into the exact process on creating NFT from brand to customer and just how that works.
Yeah, that'd be
and just
great.
so everyone knows, from my background, I'm a big fan of the long tail. I think that the big brands go first, but the more important thing is the long tail, meaning the smaller brands. So our goal is to make it as easy as possible for those brands. Like, for example, the Nikes, the Foxes, they obviously have a budget. They can hire a Web3 developer, launch their own NFT collection. But I'd imagine the small time store in Venice Beach can't do that, nor do they want to do that, nor, to be honest, should they do that. So SHOPX is a technology for everyone, just like all blockchain technology. So with our 3 examples, we have a enterprise brand, a mid-sized brand, and a startup brand, which I like to use. Our enterprise brand, I would say our best one's probably Fox, or not best one because everyone's equal, but Fox Studios' new show, Cryptopolis. So if you're a fan of Rick and Morty, the same creator, Dan Harmon, created a new show called Cryptopolis. And to power customer loyalty prior to the release of the show, they created a NFT collection called the Crap Chickens. I personally hold one. I find it funny. But as a Crap Chicken holder, I get access to voting on the show. I could appear in the show. I get early content. I'm going to get merch. So this was a great way to drive customer loyalty prior to the release of the show. So when they launched a couple weeks ago, they already had the hardened fan base, which worked out well for them. Not only that, people are talking about the show. It generated a lot of buzz. So think of like how Bored Apes are on Twitter, but apply that to a brand or a TV show and you'll get that loyalty. Like if you have an NFT of a show, you're going to watch a show whenever it's there, especially if you have a chance of seeing your NFT in person. We were going to work with another major show where their concept was, on the first episode, you could buy the NFT, which would redeem a product. In this case, it was a makeup kit. That was a specific product from the show, so you could do your makeup in real time with the actual star of the show. So those are the enterprise brands. Fox News is a headliner. Our mid-tier brand is, I would say my favorite one's Mag Park. So what I like about Mag Park is he's a chill guy in LA. He owns a hat and hype store. So his issue was whenever he launched a new product line, it'd be like a customizable hat that's limited supply, bots would completely scoop up his inventory in less than a second and then resell the hats for like 10, 20 times the profit. And this would result in his like loyal customers, because he's like a hometown guy from LA. So like he actually plays basketball with the community. Like the kids go there, they hang out at the store, like there's a hoop in the store. So it's that type of energy. So those people who actually support the brand wouldn't get the hat, whereas like a botter would just buy all of it and resell it. So he created a gold, silver, bronze style pass where obviously there's like a token gate section of the Discord. Each tier gets different benefits. They get in real life events, they get to meet the guy. But more importantly, they get exclusive access to products before launch, or sometimes just exclusive products in general. So this completely solved the botting issue for him. He was able to generate over 130 ETH in less than 24 hours from his mint. So he did 125 for gold, 125 for silver, 250 for bronze at different days. My favorite thing about this particular example is over 50% of his minters were 100% brand new to crypto, meaning that they didn't have an Ethereum, they didn't have MetaMask wallet, they didn't have anything, but they wanted the hat. So they learned how to use the technology to get the NFT, to get the hat. So imagine that at scale, like with a Nike brand, where in the end, of course, we still have to work within the limitations of Web3 technology. But once everything in the whole Web3 technology space is easier to use, it's like tap, tap, tap. We can get plenty of people using Web3 without them even knowing it. So yeah, he's someone who uses the product actively. So he continuously adds benefits to his passes, his pink mocha holders, his world famous holders. They have cool products. They have their private Discord. They have meetups. It's a pretty fun time. And the cool thing about having the pass is it's just like a normal NFT collection, meaning Mickey owns the NFT collection. So if he wanted to, and I think he did, he could claim it on OpenSea. So since it's NFT, if the value of the brand goes up, but theoretically the value of the pass should go up for the holder. So if you start off with a small time brand, they get world famous, your pass could be worth more money. You can then sell it in the secondary market, just like any NFT, and then the brand could get royalties on that. So that's a cool feature. And I would say
just to interject there, because with all the different levels, because sometimes with the utility, you don't know has a certain utility been used or when it's been resold. Is there ways of kind of knowing that?
Yeah, so it's all verifiable on the blockchain. So if he sells a pass, he'll get the payment and he'll see it. We don't track it currently for him, but that's something you can ask. And now that you mentioned, that's something we should probably build into the feature, just secondary. Like that's a very simple plugin. We just use a graph to monitor his secondary sales and just throw it on the brand dashboard. So thank you for that. In terms of pass, in terms of the actual pass, it directly links with the Shopify store. So you can continuously just click a button, it's like add products, and then shows all your products. You can add different products at different times and remove products. So you can say product A, pass holders get early access for a week, then everyone else has it. Product B, only pass holders get it. Product C, everyone gets it. And then there's also a redemptions feature, meaning each pass, you can set the product A redemptions for one, meaning each pass can only redeem the product once. So that makes it so someone can't just buy all the inventory. So in terms of those two examples, do you have any questions, or should I move on to the third?
Oh, no, that's cool. Yeah, no, just keep going on. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. The third I personally like, just because I'm a big fan of dogs. So he was his owner. He had an Instagram page. He was called the Husky Jackson. So he had a community, but he didn't have a store yet, nor did he have a product. He just kind of had a following in Discord. So what he did was pretty cool. He used our technology to launch the Husky Jackson Pass prior to the release of his product. So he used the funds created from the Husky Jackson Pass as a way to prove that people actually cared about his product enough to launch it. and then as a way using those funds to actually create the product. And then after the fact, he added benefits to that pass for Sasuke. So he used that as a kind of a Kickstarter thing. And to circle back to your earlier question in terms of mom and pop stores, it's really made for everyone. You can use the pass however you want. I envision NFTs as just simply a way to connect a creator, in this case the brand, with a consumer. So if you're a small store, you want to create a small pass collection just for your original members, you're more than welcome to do so. And then you can continuously add benefits or cap it at one benefit, really up to you. So imagine you're a store, or imagine you're a music artist. I'll be the music artist in the example. You'll be the fan. You're a friend. It's my first show. You and like 25 other friends come to support my show. No one else does. I either gift you an NFT as a way of saying thank you, or the ticket itself is an NFT, or you purchase an NFT. Now there's a connection between me and you for a lifetime. There's no music artist studio just stepping off a third of the value. 20 years later, I'm main stage Coachella. We saw the connection on the blockchain. Like, oh, these guys, they're my OGs. They're there for me since day one. And at that point, I can airdrop you benefits like, here's some tickets, here's some backstage tickets, here's some autograph merch, just because of that connection. So a small brand could do that. They can know, like, for example, Mickey, he knows who his OGs are now, like the pink mochas holders, because it wasn't a cheap NFT. Like, it was at the time it was 0.75 ETH, which I know in crypto degen terms they're like, oh, 0.75 ETH, that's not that much. But for like the average person not into NFTs, over $1,000 for NFT is kind of like, that's kind of a lot. But they especially for a new technology you're not aware of, it's like, why am I paying $1,000? So yeah, they made the effort, they got the pass, they get the products, Mickey earned the revenue, and he really does take care of these communities. So it's a good way for you to identify your super fans, keep them loyal too. Like, think from the brand perspective. If you have a Nike pass, I don't think you'll ever shop with Adidas. Whereas if you don't have the pass, it would just kind of go to wherever. It doesn't really matter. So that ownership aspect really plays there. It's like a hotel timeshare. So if I own a hotel timeshare in Hawaii and you're going to Hawaii, like, hey dude, you're staying in my timeshare, it's the best timeshare ever. Staying here. Everyone who goes to Hawaii, you're staying there. Whereas if I don't, I'm like, just stay. Just stay somewhere. Airbnb, get a hotel, it doesn't really matter to me. Plus, as the brand rises in value, you get to see your pass rise in value, which is pretty fun. So it's a way to share the wealth between the community members versus like the board and all that good stuff.
Is there systems in place to stop somebody buying 10, or do they determine how many someone can buy?
Yeah, so to go over the process, as a brand, you're on Shopify and WooCommerce. The app itself is free. We earn that 5% revenue, and SHOPX innovated in a pretty cool way. So our token is a tokenized software license. So if you go to CoinMarketCap, you search the SHOPX tokenized software license, it'll pop up. A brand has to have a certain amount of those tokenized software license to gain access to our products and services. If they do, we read the wallet and they're good to go. And then once you're within the app, within two forms, you fill out two forms to deploy your smart contract. The first is the NFT details. So it's the NFT image, a description, the price of the NFT, how many NFTs per wallet. So to answer your question, yes, you get to decide. Each wallet can mint 1, 2, 3. It's really up to you. So all that information's, it's pretty simple to make. The hardest part is creating the graphic for your NFT, which of course none of us can do anything about. And then from there, after you put in your NFT details, you get taken to the second form, which is details for the landing page. And that's just a simple no code URL we spit out for you. It's like shopx.com/brand or whatever. So there you just put like the details of your NFT, the time you want you want people able to purchase it. So we either do first come, first serve or raffle. First come, first serve is anyone can go hit your site as soon as it's live and purchase the NFT as soon as they can. Raffle is obviously, let's say 500 people enter your raffle, you have 100 spots available. We automatically generate 100 winners, and you have the option to whitelist winners, meaning if you want specific people to win, you can add their wallet addresses in prior to the raffle and they automatically get in. After the raffle runs, you have the option to switch to first come, first serve. So if it's not selling out for whatever reason, you can just open the floodgates. Your NFT is then minted at that point in time, and then still directly within an app. That's when you would add the e-commerce benefits to your NFT. So picture yourself, your brand, you're on Shopify app, It's pretty simple. You see a picture of your pass. There's a button that says add products. You click add products. And then since we're directly linked to your e-commerce store, all your products show up. And then at that point, you can decide which ones to token gate for how long and how many times you can redeem. And then from there, you have your URL page, you have your NFT, you have the benefits ready for your customers. You then direct your customers to a very simple to use link. And this can be done like via email, via social media. You can post polls on Instagram. You can drive hype. It's really just the normal link you get people to buy stuff from. Your customer can then mint the NFT with, since we're a Web3 company, we always stick to the Web3 values of like MetaMask, Coinbase Wallet, and Trust Wallet with Ethereum to self-custody. But we've learned from the MagPark launch that, like I mentioned earlier, over 50% were brand new to crypto. And the biggest issue for them is, imagine you're new to crypto, you want this pass, you create an account on Coinbase, you're like, okay, I bought these, what do I do now? You wait 2 days for them to send the transaction. So a lot of people couldn't buy it immediately because of that. So to solve that issue, we've integrated Crossmint. So that enables credit card purchases. What's happening on the back end, and the customer doesn't need to know this, but it's just happening on the back end. You're technically buying Ethereum with your credit card, paying the gas with your credit card, and that's depositing into the brand's wallets per the split that they want. But on the front end, you see, oh, by credit card, you get that NFT. From there,
are they charging? Because I mean, the spread and everything with what they're doing, are they, because they're converting it, are they charging about 10% on that? What's the actual?
it's very minimal. They don't cover the gas. The gas is always on the customer brand side, but I'd say it's less than 1%, if that. I should get the exact numbers, but it's not not a backbreaker at any point in time. Actually, I don't even think they charge, but you're a customer, you now have your NFT. What do you do with it? You go shopping with it. So the way our token, you would just hit this. So imagine I'm a NFT holder for the MagPark, or you can be the NFT holder this time and I won't be. So there's a new hat available, the pink mocha hat. We both want this hat. I go to the site to try to purchase it. I try to check out, and at that point, a pop-up comes up saying, hey, you need the pink mocha pass to gain access to this hat. If you don't have it, you can purchase one here, or you can purchase one off of OpenSea. So I'm blocked from that. So SHOPX merely blocks the checkout. You have the pink mocha pass. You say, I do have this hat. Sign in with your wallet, sign the transaction. It verifies that you have the NFT, and then you proceed to the checkout. And this is important to note that SHOPX merely blocks the checkout for the Shopify and WooCommerce stores, because if you're a brand, any retention emails you have in place for just like any normal customer stuff, we don't mess with that at all. Any of the payment systems you have in place, like for example, if you pay with credit card, if you accept cryptocurrency, if you accept like half payment now, half payment later, we don't touch any of that. So we just get the checkout portion of the site for your customers. And then obviously you get all the data. You can see which NFT holder purchased the pass, when they purchase the product, for how much, and all that is kind of linked.
With the graphic then, because like it's not stored on the blockchain as such, is there a few different places that it's saved?
By graphic, do you mean the NFT image?
Yeah.
So it's really just a normal NFT collection. So we work two ways. If you have a pre-minted collection, that's what Kapopoulos did. But imagine like if Nike and Bored Apes did a collaboration, they can use ReserveX token gated technology, where the Bored Ape holders, because they hold a normal Bored Ape, they could get access to a specific Bored Ape product within the platform. So we can work. It's not that hard of a tech lift, but it does require some customization from our side. But the no-code solution, which we talk about with brands, which really gets a long tail, the NFT collection is just a normal NFT collection. So the thing with that is each picture is the same. So if I were to screenshot an image, create an NFT from that, there would be no customizable trades. So just be this image, but that's something we're working on for the future, allowing brands to add traits and just make it more customizable. And then from there, it's a normal NFT collection. You'd have the name, number one, name, number two, name, number three. And then it shows up on OpenSea, it shows up in your wallet, just like any other NFT.
With the royalties then, is there any limit to the amount? Because I mean, say if it's a mom and pop shop, if you have like 10 founders or whatever, and they want to split it equally, that it's like, full traceability, or is it limited to one and they have to work it out themselves?
So in royalty again, we're just a token gating platform. However, they want to split it. If OpenSea allows us, like you're talking about the secondary sales, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if OpenSea allows that, and that's within how they play, then they're able to divide the royalties. But that's not a ShopX thing.
And with the, like, you've got, say, an ambassador program as well. Do you want to touch on that to explain that for maybe those that are interested?
Yeah, sure. So I'd love to. The theory was it's better to give than receive, which I wholeheartedly believe. So the ambassador program, it's for our SquadX community members. So to reiterate, ShopX shares its ReserveX revenue with the SquadX community members. So if we close a deal, we send out payments in Ethereum directly to the wallet they link. Or so for ShopX, we can charge a custom price, meaning if like brand requires custom work, we obviously charge X amount of dollars depending on what they want. But if it's just the run-of-the-mill, no-code, plug-and-play solution for Shopify WooCommerce, ShopX earns 5% of the minting revenue, and then 2.5 we share with our community members automatically. So the SquadX member program, we're paying our community in Ethereum for helping our ecosystem grow. So we have a gold, silver, bronze, platinum style member list. So if you're a SquadX member, you hold these SquadX licenses, you then stake them within the SquadX protocol, and the percentage of licenses you hold compared to the rest of the protocol, that's the percentage of Ethereum you earn from the revenue. So let's say ShopX earns 100 Ethereum from one deal. You own 1/100th of that Ethereum at the point of time when ShopX earns that revenue. You would get one Ethereum deposit to your wallet. So it's a pretty fun program. It's a do what you can honor system type thing, but we have SquadX members doing really heavy lifting on Twitter. Like, for example, a bunch of them are posting memes, doing the standard Twitter stuff. We've had a couple create Twitter spaces called the SquadX Lounge, where they just run a community member space. We've had people refer us major brands, actually they're not active on Twitter, but they are value members of SquadX community. They have incentive to see us grow. They want to help us do that. So it's been a great way for us to get brand referrals. So you're a SquadX member, you stake your SquadX licenses, you're getting paid in Ethereum, you're happy. The amount of license you have depend what tier level you're on. And then from there, you can mint a NFT badge. So it's just like a gold, platinum, bronze style NFT for your SquadX membership. And then you get access to a token gated section of our Discord where we drop exclusive ShopX content. In the future, we're going to build, like when we build on merch, it's just a normal NFT. We're going to use ShopX to obviously token gate merch for our SquadX community. So it's a fun way to get involved. And so your listeners know, I do have some experience in the affiliate marketing space in the past where attributions are a complete mess. Meaning, like if I send you to a referral link, and I've done this like next to a person, someone would use that link next to me, the project would come, I was supposed to get a commission, and then we get spit off somewhere else. So we're just like, okay, that's a buzzkill. So with SquadX, there's no way around that. It's whatever wallet you link your SquadX token licenses to, that's the percentage Ethereum you get. So when payout comes, if you linked wallet A gets Ethereum. You can't say, hey, please transfer to wallet B, and there's no way around it. So we expect, and then we've already seen Twitter use the same business model where they share ad revenue with the creators, but that's like a Web2 version where they share USD with the Stripe accounts, or like the Web3 version where we share ETH with the MetaMask or whatever wallet they want. Yeah, so if you want to get involved, and honestly, it's a great place to learn about the project. Just search ShopX on Twitter, see our activity, search $ ShopX, and you'll see a bunch of people just posting random stuff. And of course, if you have any questions about the product, I believe in full transparency, so you can either reach out privately in the DMs or through email, or you can tag at ShopX Labs and then someone will answer. It doesn't have to be nice. I think criticism is more valuable than praise, so just have at it. And then from there, I trust the project will be interesting enough, or it isn't for you just to want to learn more.
Very good. And like, what? Just finally, like, what cold wallets do you recommend?
I don't recommend anything because I think everyone should do their own research. Like when I ask for investment advice, I don't ask for investment advice. I'm like, okay, don't tell me what to buy. What's in your portfolio? I personally use Trezor, but I'm not recommending anyone to use Trezor. I am recommending people research Trezor and research Ledger and why they should use it. But I use Trezor. For Bitcoin, I use multi-sig, which if you're new to crypto, it might be kind of complicated. I wouldn't recommend it right off the bat. But what multi-sig is, meaning if I want to send out some Bitcoin, I have to have 2 wallets sign the signature versus 1 wallet. So the way I have it set up, and I believe security through obscurity isn't security, meaning if I have to hide how I'm storing it, that's not really security because no one can find it. Yeah, so if I want to send some Bitcoin, not that I have any because I might have lost in like a boating accident or something, but I would have to sign with 2 Trezors or multiple Trezors versus 1 singular Trezor. So that's just an added layer of security just to further protect your coins, because in crypto, the one advice I do give is just to take your coin seriously. If it's not your keys, it's not your coin. If you lose your Bitcoin or any other crypto asset, you can't get it back. So, and no one wants to see, because I think all of our goal is mass adoption, and there's no bigger buzzkill for mass adoption for a new person in the space to come in and just get hacked or lose their crypto. Then there's like, I don't like this.
And there's been so many. I mean, I've had a few of the guests, like one of my friends who actually came on the show, 500,000 he lost, and there was another guy over 100,000. That's like big amounts that are being lost on this from experienced people, not just newbies.
Oh yeah, no, there's some really good phishing schemes out there where it's like, oh, it's like that almost got me, but soup. Like for example, if like you're in a rush, you're just like, where'd the money go? You're trying to deposit this smart contract or something. It's like, where is it? Then like a fake help agent would come. So yeah, so you're having trouble, and then they will try to get your private keys. And so this is going to be an issue in the future, or not an issue. I view all issues as an opportunity to solve something. But imagine this, because we work with Web2 brands who onboard their customers to Web3. So like, for example, Mickey has his Discord, whatever. Those people, the new people into crypto, aren't aware of the security needed to take care of crypto. And that's something the whole space needs to work on. But like, as we onboard more and more Web2 brands, it can function as somewhat of a honeypot for, like, imagine this, like Mickey's 50% new crypto users all in one Discord. That's like a pretty good honeypot for someone with bad intentions. So obviously there's nothing either of us could do about that. But at ShopX, we do our best to provide support for the brand, meaning we have our base set of help documents, like what is MetaMask, what is Coinbase, how do you do this, Web3 glossary, best practices, how to get Ethereum. So we have those set of documents that we share with the brand, and we encourage them to take it very, very seriously, as well as brands themselves. So we have intention to train the trainer on how to properly onboard people into Web3, because A, we don't really want to do it, and B, it's just better for the whole space.
Excellent. Listen, Eric, thoroughly enjoyed it. I think what you're doing is going to help a lot of people, so you might let people know how can they get in contact with you.
Yeah, so the absolute best way to get in contact is to check the show notes. I would check out the ShopX website. That's a good place to start. And then from there, the ShopX Twitter account at ShopX Labs. That's fantastic. And within the bio of that is our community Discord. So if you like what you see from ShopX, from the website and Twitter, I would join the community Discord and ask community members what they think of the project, because all of the team members are obviously biased, but the community members are real. They're crypto degens. If they don't like something, they say it, but they like something, they'll tell you. So they'll give you a straight up answer. And from there, if you're looking for like video walkthroughs and whatnot, we have a YouTube channel. It's not that active, but there is like live video walkthroughs of how to deploy your ReserveX pass, some short videos on what we're doing, mainly just as a resource. So if someone wants to like actually see the product live in action, you can either go to YouTube or check out the app on the actual Shopify store.
And I've actually looked at the videos. It's actually explained well, because sometimes people don't do that. So it is, and I'll make sure. Yeah, no, it's very good. Yeah. So I'll make sure.
Yeah. It's not exactly the most well edited, but the function is there, the form is lacking.
Exactly. I mean, that's the main thing, is that if it's explained easily and you understand it, you look at it, you go, okay, I can do that. And unfortunately, not everybody can do that. So I think it's definitely a benefit for you. Like, so I'm going to make sure all the links will be both on the audio and the video. Thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you so much. It was a blast.
So that's all for the Crypto Podcast. You'll find all our episodes on thecryptopodcast.org. Until next week, take care.
So I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. You'll find everything about me on bio.link/podcaster with all my podcasts, and you'll find it you see in the QR code in the graphic that's shown. I'd like again to thank my sponsors. So if you or someone you know struggling with anxiety and want to know how to be 100% anxiety free in 6 weeks without therapy or drugs, Daniel Packard's Anxiety Solution Program company offers a 6-week system that permanently solves anxiety at an astounding 90% success rate. People who join the program only pay at the end once they have clear, measurable results. If you're interested in learning more, go to permanentanxietysolutions.com, where you can book a free consultation with Daniel. Do you fight blood pressure and or want to get off the meds? Doctors are amazed at what Zona Plus can do. You can get a $50 discount with my code ROY, zona.com/discount/ROY, and you'll see it in the QR code as well as Daniel's QR code. Quality manufacturer of metal products for telecommunication and workshop equipment and other metal materials. You see the brochure there in the QR code, and let me know if you would like a quotation, shipped internationally at very competitive price. I'd like to thank all my sponsors and also all my listeners. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, 5-star rating, share with your friends, really helps. And I also have a video on how to give a 5-star rating because a lot of people have wrote to me asking me that they don't know how to do that. Until next week, take care.